How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today's gonna be another exciting GAC, guys. I'm about to show you we're gonna be going against Pasha here. I believe he's a Russian player and he is really good at GAC. Having a look at the GP here, he's got about 300k more GP. In terms of the relics, I do have the edge in tier 7s. He has the edge in tier 5s. Looking at the rank, he's got 2k more in terms of rank. Although look at those lifetime banners, guys. This guy has 510k lifetime banners. That is pretty insane. And having a look at his defensive holds as well, 528. I don't believe I've ever matched with a gent that has had this much defensive hold. So this guy knows what he's doing. He is in the top echelon of GAC. Looking at the Gear 13s and the Zetas, we're pretty matched up. However, looking at the mods, he smashes me as he's got 406 dot mods and at least 10 more plus 20 speed mods as well. It's pretty insane. Now, having a look at this gent, he has gotten up to rank 30 Kyber, so that is pretty insane. I myself have only ever ranked about 5,000 in Kyber, so really this should be an uphill battle. Now, looking further into this gent's GAC history as well, he does like to place non-meta teams on defense, which makes him quite unpredictable. As in his last GAC, he did place GAC, he placed Darth Revan, Padme, and having a look at the board here, guys, it doesn't look like he's placed either of his galactic legends, so God knows what's in the back walls. However, we're gonna use our meta teams against this particular front wall, as it is extremely formidable in terms of mods. That Finn there has got 340 speed, if I'm not mistaken. And look at the damage they're doing to GAC. So after those two attacks, GAC is down. Now they're going to drop Rex here, which inevitably gets the sacrifice out on the field. We're going to try and stun the droids, which doesn't happen for us, unfortunately. And we're gonna try and drop Finn here as soon as we can. So GAC gets up, we're gonna apply Armor Shred, we're gonna drop Finn, get some counter attacks out on the field, and now we're gonna go for Poe as well. And those GAC's counter attacks are doing a ton of work here, as we're doing about 70k damage per counter attack. And although we didn't get a decent amount of banners, I'm quite happy with this result, as I've not seen a team this well modded in my GACs previously. So I believe we can afford to use a Galactic Legend here in the front walls. So we're going to use this against this particular CLS squad. Now, as you can see here, they're doing a ton of damage from the get-go as well, applying a ton of exposes, and really this team should not be able to walk through a Galactic Legend this quickly. However, he's doing so much damage to our team, we really want to drop Chewbacca, and luckily we do have damage immunity on Holdo. They resist our stuns, and they finally go for Poe as well. So now we really have no other option here but to use our ultimate ability. And this isn't looking like a good banner count either, unfortunately. We finally get to our ultimate and we're able to drop all the characters out on the field. So terrible banner average thus far, to be expected, and as I have said before, this guy likes to place GAC on defense. And it looks like he didn't place Darth Revan on defense. However, he did place Padme instead. Now we're not going to be undersizing in this particular GAC battle, as I know that can be game breaking, or that can be game losing, as typically undersizing against extremely well modded teams will just bring a higher chance for a loss. Now in this particular battle here, I really wanted Padme to be fast, and I really wanted Grandmaster Yoda to take the first turn. As you can see, I'm able to gain protection up from the get-go, and we're really quickly able to drop the B2 Super Battle Droid, which is pretty pivotal in this battle, as if we leave him last, he's gonna keep applying buff immunity to our characters, and that's just going to be really troublesome. At this point, we've got a solid taunt on GK, and we really want to get rid of Newt Gunray here. Finally get rid of the B1, and Ahsoka's second ability gets rid of Grievous. So I would say that's a pretty decent banner count going against a Grievous team. And really this is where it comes down to how robust your roster is. Well, in my case, not so robust, as I've built my roster around being lean, although I have spread out my relics at this point in time for GAC, and I did place Basilisha and Fallen on defense. However, as you're about to see, guys, this is how well modded this team is. All the bounty hunters or scoundrels out on the field here are at about 320 plus speed, and under a Django lead they're at about 340, 350 speed, so they all went before my Vader could take a turn. And as you can see, you're not going to get away from this team without losing banners, and that was one of the main issues here, really. Going to isolate Bosk here. Try and drop Boba. Try and get some stuns out on the field, which unfortunately didn't happen for us. And now they're going for Thrawn here in the back. And I believe Thrawn popped from a damage over time. We've got Merciless out on the field. We're going to drop Django, and we're going to drop Boba here. And this nest is really fast as well, at about 320 speed, I believe. And she's counter-attacking so much and applying so much damage as well. Utilize that third ability just to gain a bit of health on Palpatine. And we finally get a stun on Nest. And really we want to get to cycle around to Merciless yet again, as if we're able to do that and use our Culling Blade, that should do the trick. So really terrible banners to begin with, guys, and we continue to get terrible banners apart from the Grievous team that we went up against. Now, since I used Grandmaster Yoda, I'm running out of Jedi here that I'll be utilizing for this particular matchup. And I did realize I still had Wat Tambor, although I'm not entirely sure how good he'll be with these Jedi. So I thought to myself, I'll just give the weapon tech to Jedi Knight Revan, as really he'll be my primary damage dealer. And I'm just going to try and get as much techs out there as I can. Be good to get the health tech out on Bastila. And really the Sith Trooper is tanking all that oncoming damage. And save your procs on Jedi Knight Revan there. Gonna pass this turn onto Hoda and heal everyone out on the field. IPD does the sacrifice. And really the health tech is doing a ton of work. As you can see, Bastila is regaining a solid amount of health and protection. However, we're quickly getting rid of the opposing characters on this team. And I really wanted to slow it down at this point. Try and replenish everyone's health and protection. So 54 banners on that one as well. And in terms of the back walls here, we did save our Supreme Leader Kylo Ren for this GAS team. As looking at GAS, it's a pretty old school modded GAS. Not saying that in a bad way, it's actually a really good way to throw off your opponent at this point, as he's got a bunch of defense sets on this GAS. And he's got a ton of armor. I believe it's about 68 to 70% armor on GAS. And as you can see, that GAS is tanking a lot of oncoming damage. And at this point, I've already utilized my second ability on Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and that GAS is still standing. So really I'm glad that I utilized the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren team, as I could have used my CLS team. However, I don't believe that would have worked against this. And I did opt for the double tank, so I'm utilizing that second ability on First Order Stormtrooper. Gain a bit of turn meter on our team, and we drop all the clones with that ultimate ability. But of course not before GAS takes a bunch of our banners here. I'm going to stun him with that second ability. I'm going to further stun him with Unmasked. And finally we get rid of GAS here. Still terrible banners. And lastly, a Padme squad with Barriss Offee. But looking at this Barriss Offee, she's actually got a ton of health and tenacity. So she's going to be helping out in removing the debuffs here every time she takes a turn. And really we're going to be doing the previous strategy, utilizing the CLS against Padme. We quickly get rid of Anakin there with Chewbacca's second ability. And as you'll know about this counter, it does take a fair while to get past the taunt from GK. as we're just constantly assisting, which allows for this team to just gain a ton of protection up. And he is resisting all of our confuses here, so this may take a while, guys. However, the good thing about this counter is eventually you're going to get past them. Eventually we're going to apply tenacity down, and we should be able to stick a confuse onto GK. Now that we've got confuse, we can dispel with Chewbacca's second ability, and now we're going to go for Padme. And the great thing about this particular counter is there's not much really to it. There's really the strategy is fairly straightforward, and no matter what you do, you don't lose a ton of health and protection when you're gaining so much turn meter from them resisting debuffs. So that really that was probably the best banner count we could secure from this particular GAC. And as I looked at his history, he does like to place weak fleets, as do I, so we're pretty matched up in that department. And I did decide to use this Malevolence fleet against his rebels here. We're gonna stun Houndstooth here and just spread our buzz droids. And the great thing about Hyena Bomber is really you can target anyone whenever the Hyena takes a turn. And once we get Spy out on the field, we get a Force Taunt on Millennium Falcon there. And now we're just gonna have to deal with the stealth here. So really we should get a decent amount of banners out of this matchup. We get a stun out on that Rebel Bomber. For 65 banners. So really I believe I made up with ships in this particular GAC as opposed to the character battles. And I did want to get my undersized feat, so that includes fleets. And I do believe I could have defeated this Radus without much trouble with this particular lineup. I like having Rex for the turn meter gains as well as the protection up. We're going to bring out Plo Koon, regain a bit of that health and protection back. And now we're going to bring out Ahsoka here. Take out that resistance pilot. And really we ended with a decent amount of health and protection on all our ships as well. So 67 banners there. And this is my final score, guys. However, I'll give you a bit of a breakdown here towards the end of what I was thinking when I placed this defense. So really I actually modded Darth Revan here to be fast. And I wanted him to utilize his Darth Revan squad against my Darth Revan, as I knew he does place gas on defense. And that way when he gets to the back walls here, I have Jedi Master Luke waiting in the back walls. And if you guys have seen that video floating around, Darth Revan is actually menacing against Jedi Master Luke. So if I was successful in in my opponent actually burning out his Darth Revan for my Darth Revan, then I would have had a decent advantage. The other thing here is that my opponent didn't actually place any of his Galactic Legends, so he would have had both on offense. Now ultimately towards the end, watching my opponent do his offensive battles, and he did attack when there was about 5 or 4 more hours left on the clock, and he did one-shot my Darth Revan, although when I was looking at the score, I believe he got about 47 to 49 banners in that battle. So I could have been right in a sense that he utilized his Darth Revan against my Darth Revan, and that he lost a ton of banners in that particular matchup. The Grievous battle, however, he just destroyed, as he got about 57 banners in that battle. And in the back walls, he smashed my Jedi Master Luke, so he must have utilized one of his Galactic Legends in that matchup. And the Scoundrel team here at the bottom, he actually undersized last, as I believe he got about 62 banners in this battle. And this is actually where it got interesting, guys, as in the top front is where he actually tripped against my JTR team. So whether he was undersizing a ton or just experimenting, I'm not really sure at this point. However, this particular JTR team held, and I'm quite happy about that result, as you guys can see, his final score was literally 1 banner under my score. So really he would have needed to undersize a fair bit. And although I didn't trip, my opponent did trip. So thinking about efficiency, he was way more efficient than me. In the ship battles, I'm sure he got a decent amount as well, as not all of my reinforcements actually came out on either battle. So if you liked the content today, guys, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. That was a really exciting GAC. And of course, I will see you on the next one.